A mystery team boss is denying Max Verstappen his flowers. As we all know by now, Verstappen had a chokehold on the sport in 2023. But an official team principal poll, where they choose the best drivers this past season, revealed that one of them didn't see Verstappen as F1 2023's greatest. In fact, he wasn't even number 2 on this individual's list. Plus, Lando Norris was warned to avoid teaming up with Verstappen at all costs. But why? All these and more in today's video, so keep watching. Without a doubt, Max Verstappen stood out as the top Formula 1 driver in the 2023 season. Everyone has their opinion, but interestingly, not every Formula 1 team boss shares the consensus. Surprisingly, one team leader doesn't view Verstappen as the absolute best or even the second best from the past year. Is it a case of intense rivalry preventing acknowledgement of Verstappen's excellence? Food for thought. Choosing the standout driver of the year always adds an element of excitement. Initially, Formula 1 drivers themselves had the chance to pick their top performer for 23. Unsurprisingly, Verstappen clinched the top spot in this poll, with 19 drivers participating. Interestingly, Lewis Hamilton chose not to participate. Additionally, team bosses also had the opportunity to voice their opinions on Formula 1's official website regarding their pick for the best of the previous season. Predictably, Verstappen received an overwhelming majority of votes from team bosses as well. In contrast to the driver's vote, Formula 1 is transparent about revealing Verstappen's point total in the team bosses poll, which amounted to an impressive 240 points. Given that these points were allocated using F1's post-Grand Prix points system, it suggests that at least one team boss opted not to award Verstappen the maximum 25 points. Out of the 250 points available from the 10 team bosses, it's evident, through basic arithmetic, that Verstappen didn't receive a perfect score of 10 points from each. This implies that not even an anonymous team boss ranked him in the second position. If that were the case, considering the point system, Verstappen would have garnered 18 points, bringing his total to 243 points. But this wasn't the scenario. While it can't be confirmed, there's a strong inclination to believe that this particular team boss allocated the maximum 25 and 18 points to their own drivers. Let's be honest, it does seem a bit disappointing. Recognising talent should transcend team loyalty. Does it truly make a significant difference if, by awarding points to your own drivers, they rank higher on the year-end list? This kind of behaviour appears somewhat immature and fails to acknowledge the broader spirit of recognising excellence in the sport. Speculating on which team boss opted for a whitewash from their own drivers instead of acknowledging Verstappen's well-deserved credit is indeed a futile exercise. The anonymity of the vote ensures that we'll never have a clear answer. However, one can't help but wonder if the conscious team boss, aware of the anonymity, can genuinely take their own vote seriously. After all, overlooking Verstappen's accomplishments in favour of internal team favouritism might raise questions about the sincerity and fairness of the voting process. Johnny Herbert, a former F1 driver, has advised Lando Norris to steer clear of the risk associated with leaving McLaren to become Max Verstappen's teammate at Red Bull. Verstappen has undoubtedly become a dominant force in the current F1 era, securing a record 19 victories out of 22 in the 2023 season on his way to a third consecutive World Championship. While teammate Sergio Perez contributed to Red Bull's first 1-2 in the standings, Verstappen's landslide victory was evident, amassing 575 points, more than double Perez's total. Sergio Perez faced considerable criticism throughout the challenging F1 2023 season, with his position in the Red Bull lineup frequently questioned despite the team asserting that his seat was secure. Although Red Bull didn't explicitly confirm any immediate threat to Perez's position, they acknowledged the ongoing assessment of options as his contract approached expiration after the F1 2024 season. Speculation about Lando Norris being among the potential candidates was neither denied nor dismissed by Red Bull, while both Norris and Verstappen have expressed interest in the idea of being teammates. Johnny Herbert advises Norris to approach any potential offer with caution and not to accept it hastily. In the 2023 season, Norris and McLaren experienced a breakthrough, climbing the ranks with Norris contributing 7 out of their 9 podium finishes. Johnny Herbert suggests that Norris should stay dedicated to this promising project and the pursuit of championship success instead of taking the risk associated with joining Max Verstappen at Red Bull. Herbert shared his perspective with Express Sport in partnership with Genting Casino, saying, "I think if we do it just from a driver's perspective, you're always going to try and work out what's going to benefit you. Now, is the risk of him going to Red Bull worth it in the situation that he finds himself? McLaren are doing really, really well. McLaren love having him in the team. He delivers when the car is working properly. Is it worth the risk? Personally, no. I don't think it is worth the risk. He's still young, he's still going to get better, he's still going to improve, and at the moment, McLaren are on a very good trajectory to get themselves maybe in a stronger position for next year. We're going to have to wait and see, obviously, but I don't see why he'd want to make his life that little bit more difficult when he actually is in a very good position that he's got at the moment." As the anticipation for F1 2024 builds up, Christian Horner has taken the initiative to outline New Year resolutions on behalf of his drivers. With the slate wiped clean after the most dominant year in the history of an F1 team, Horner has set the expectations for what he envisions from his drivers in the upcoming season. In a post-season appearance on the Sky F1 podcast following the Abu Dhabi finale, the Red Bull team boss discussed the areas he envisions his drivers improving upon in the upcoming F1 2024 season. Predictably, given Max Verstappen's outstanding performance in 2023, Horner found it challenging to provide substantial advice for the Dutch driver to identify areas of improvement. Verstappen's exceptional track record in the 2023 season, with just one instance of finishing off the podium and securing second place in 2 of the 3 races he didn't win, led Horner to express that there's practically nothing more Verstappen could do to leave a greater impression. He said, "Very little. I mean, there are only 3 races he could have done better, but that was beyond his control, most of them. What an unbelievable year. He's just been absolutely incredible, so it's impossible to fault the season that he's had. Just keep doing what you're doing." Shifting focus to Sergio Perez, who is entering the last year of his current Red Bull contract, Horner reiterated the specific areas of improvement he has identified for Perez to focus on as he heads into the challenges of 2024. He said, "I think his biggest resolution will be to sort his qualifying out. That's been his Achilles heel at certain points this year. If he can do that, then his race pace is always strong. He races very well. So we need him qualifying there at the front, nearer to Max, and putting more pressure on. We can't afford for him to go missing at certain points of the championship and have that inconsistency. He finished 2nd this year, 3rd last year, 4th the year before. So he's on the right trajectory." When questioned about the challenges of designing a car that accommodates the distinct driving styles of both Verstappen and Perez, Horner emphasised that it ultimately falls on the drivers to figure out the most effective ways to capitalise on the machinery they are provided with. "They are different, but we just develop the fastest car that we can. It's down to the drivers extracting, adapting and getting the most out of it. Simple as that. We're not developing in one route or another. We develop a car to be the most competitive car that we can. Then, of course, it's down to the drivers to what can they extract out of it and how they adjust their style and nuances accordingly." For most of the season, Helmut Marko has been a kind of adversary to Sergio Perez with the comments he made, and now Marko has indicated that Sergio Perez is expected to fulfill his Red Bull contract until the conclusion of 2024 as things stand, marking a pivotal year ahead for the Mexican driver. With both Daniel Ricciardo and Yuki Tsunoda eyeing a potential Red Bull opportunity, team principal Christian Horner has asserted that the seat is Perez's to retain or lose. Marko has provided his own update on the situation. Having signed a fresh 2-year contract with Red Bull in 2022, Perez's current deal is set to conclude at the end of 2024. However, with Daniel Ricciardo expressing his ambition to conclude his career as a Red Bull driver, Perez is likely to face stiff competition for his seat if he intends to continue alongside Verstappen. Perez encountered mid-season challenges, while Verstappen clinched the title with apparent ease, sparking uncertainties about Perez's future with the team. However, Red Bull Motorsport advisor Marko has reassured that the intention is for Perez to fulfill his existing contract. Marko shared this assurance with OE24. As things stand, he will fulfill his contract until the end of 2024. Then we'll see. Regarding his own performance, Perez acknowledged that his qualifying performance fell short in 2023, frequently requiring him to make up ground during races to salvage results in the fastest car on the grid. Perez shared this insight with the media in Abu Dhabi. "I think the Sunday form has been very, very strong this year. That's the only reason we finished P2 in the championship. I think that many Saturdays have been very difficult this season, and it's something we've got to work on and make sure that we improve for next year. I think we also have to give credit to Max. He's done an incredible year in the history of the sport. He's been driving really, really well, and it's been very impressive to see. And that's it from me. Who do you think the mystery team principal is? Share your theory and why in the comments section down below. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thanks for watching.